and welcome to the WIHS Journal. On the broadcast today, we'll learn about the ministry Convoy of Hope. On the phone line with me today, we got to speak to the Public Relations Director, Phil McMillan. Stay tuned for all the details about Convoy of Hope. Excited to talk about this. And I know, Phil, we've had a connection before when you were here in Connecticut, so I'm glad you are expanding to different ministries. So maybe tell us a history and a mission of the Convoy of Hope.
Absolutely. Thank you, Anissa, for taking some time to learn about Convoy of Hope. Convoy of Hope is 30 years old. We're celebrating 30 years this year, starting in 1994. And quite simply, we exist to resource the local church to be the hands and feet of Jesus in our backyard and abroad. And we do that through four kind of pillars or four core initiatives that we have at Convoy. Disaster services is kind of the tip of the spear for us. We're a humanitarian organization, faith-based, and a lot of people would know us from just our disaster response efforts. And this is how we partner with the local church during times of crisis, whether that's through a hurricane that happens, a response to a tornado, the wildfires in Hawaii. Also engaged internationally with just the response to the conflict in the Middle East and also ongoing conflict in Ukraine. So in a variety of capacities in each scenario, we are resourcing the church with the supplies that they need to be the hands and feet of Jesus. Disaster service is one kind of core pillar for us, and I'll share the other three. The other three, and any other questions you have, we can drill down on them. But the other three are children's feeding. Right now, we are feeding 600,000 kids, over 600,000 school kids every single day in about 38 to 40 different countries around the world. We are also doing women's empowerment. We have a women's empowerment program, which last year we empowered 48,000 women in discipleship through small group connection in underserved, underdeveloped nations. And these women are gifted with seed capital to start their own businesses and given entrepreneurial skills to do that in the context that they live in. And then the third one, or really the fourth one, I should say, is agriculture. One of the other things we say is we have a driving passion to feed the world, and we know agriculture touches every part of our lives. And to help communities that are impoverished have a sustainable approach to dealing with poverty, it really starts in the soil. So we're helping build resilience for farmers, and again, doing all of this through the local church.
It's amazing. And then you're touching women and children. It is really a convoy of hope. I love that you're doing this. And the years that you have been there, maybe talk about some of the organizations and businesses and governments that maximize its impact.
So we work hand in hand with local governments, whether it's the state of Florida, whether it's FEMA, Red Cross, United Way, a host of other NGOs, like I said, domestically and around the world. And we have a dedicated disaster services team that is not only on the ground when a disaster happens, but is also forecasting when you have those seasons of hurricanes and working hand in hand with local government to be able to be effective to help build recovery in these affected communities. So
when there is a natural disaster or something happens, your organization is right there helping. You're the hands and feet.
Correct. Yeah, we just this year, rounding out 2024, we have responded to 98 disasters, again, domestically and around the world, and everything from a wildfire or a hurricane, like we said, but also in Indiana, just about a week ago, there was a water treatment plant that burned to the ground. So we are working with the local church there, supplying the water and the supplies and hygiene kits that people need during this difficult time.
I love this. So if you are just tuning in right now to this interview, we are talking about the ministry Convoy of Hope, and I am talking to Phil McMillan. He is the Network Relations Director. I love hearing all this. What is your biggest passion that motivates you to be at this ministry?
I worked in ministry for a number of years, and that's how we connected when I was in Connecticut. And as a believer, we see God's intentions of utilizing his people to be the answers to the problems that the world has, and that his people are those that we identify as the local church. So what I love about Convoy is we like to say that the church is our exit strategy. So we exist because of the church, and we exist for the church. We exist to see the people of God in their communities, whether it's in Kenya, whether it's in Madagascar or Philippines or El Salvador or in Wisconsin or in New York City, having them equipped to be the hands and feet of Jesus. And poverty and hunger specifically is just a continued ongoing need. But we know that we serve a big God, and at Convoy, we have vision to partner, like I said, and resource the local church to bring the answers and the hope that's needed.
Can you think of or share a memorable experience or story that has profoundly impacted you during your time with this organization?
Absolutely. There's so many, but the women's empowerment is, I can emphasize how significant that is. In America, we've taken great strides to have, women's equality and just women's equity in so many spheres of life. But in many developing nations, women are looked at, maybe just quite frankly, as just baby making machines, and they are not gifted even the opportunity of education. So this one story of a young woman who was probably 27 years old and had 4 kids. And she was gifted, she went through the Women's Empowerment Program, and she was gifted a $125, I think, basically gift. And the seed capital is what we identify it as. And she took that. She had a background in fishing. And she took that amount that she got after having gone through the women's program, and she went and bought a fishing net. And the average salary for a person in El Salvador is about $300. And this woman began to tear up and tell us how she was able to, on the last catch that she had, she was able to take in $500 worth of fish in one catch.
Wow.
And just a story of resilience. But and this is the best part, and which really hit us on the significance of the work that we do in partnering with the local church, is she started to weep, and she said, this was the first time in my life that I had friends. And I was reminded of the verse in Psalm 68 that says, God puts the lonely in families. And I'm just glad in the day and age that we live in that we get to partner with the work of God in that way.
Wow, what a great correlation. Even, Jesus, he's a great fisherman, and what a great correlation. Thank you so much for sharing your mission and the background on this ministry. Love how you guys partner literally around the world. What else would you like to convey to our listeners in this broadcast today?
Sure. Well, when Convoy started 30 years ago, but prior to that, our founder, Hal Donaldson, he was a journalist, and he went to do an interview with some missionaries in Calcutta, India, and he got the chance to interview Mother Teresa. And in his interview with Mother Teresa, she turned the tables on him and said, son, what are you doing to help the poor and suffering? And he said, I couldn't lie to Mother Teresa, so I said, ma'am, honestly, I'm not doing much. And Mother Teresa's response is, the thing I want to leave with every listener is, she said, everyone can do something. Just do the next kind thing the Lord puts in front of you. And that is the essence and basis of what we do at Convoy. When there's need, we're going to do what we can to do the next kind thing.
Thank you so much. Can you provide a website or more details for our listeners to peruse your contact information?
Absolutely. convoyofhope.org. That's one word, convoyofhope.org. You can go to our website. You can learn all about who we are, what we're doing, where we're at around the world.
I tell you, that was an awesome interview. I had no idea. I didn't realize that you guys did so much. I love that.
Yeah, we're in 66 different countries that we can share. So, but again, the genius, the way that we're set up, we're just partnered with the local church. We are number 27 on Forbes' top 100 nonprofits in the country, out of about 1.3 million nonprofits. I can't emphasize partnering with the local church.
Once again on the broadcast with me was Phil McMillan, the Public Relations Director of Convoy of Hope. For more details about today's broadcast, you can give us a call at 860-346-1049. I'm Anissa Porticelli for News and Public Affairs.